The morning I changed where my pension went, I didn't feel rebellious. I felt tired. Tired of pretending not to notice how quickly my bank balance drained each month. Tired of hearing the careful, rehearsed tone in my daughter's voice whenever she said, "Mom, we're just helping you manage things." Tired of signing forms I didn't fully read because I trusted her more than I trusted myself. I'm 72, widow, retired school librarian. I spent 35 years teaching children how to find the right stories on dusty shelves, how to treat books with respect, how to return what they borrowed. Ironically, no one ever taught me how to protect what was mine. After my husband died, the house grew quiet in a way that pressed against my ears. My daughter Samina began visiting more often. At first I was grateful. She brought groceries, adjusted the Wi-Fi, even fixed a leaky faucet once. Her husband Khalid came too, always polite, always calling me Ami with a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. It was Samina who suggested we make things easier. "You shouldn't have to worry about bills," she'd said one evening, placing a comforting hand over mine. "Let Khalid handle the online payments. We'll link your pension to our joint account. That way everything managed properly." Managed properly. At the time it sounded reasonable. I was grieving. Numbers blurred. Paperwork overwhelmed me, so I agreed. For the first year nothing felt wrong. The electricity stayed on. Groceries appeared. Khalid occasionally showed me screenshots of payments, as if to reassure me. But slowly, small things began to add up. When I needed new glasses, Samina hesitated. "Maybe next month, Mom, things are tight." Tight, my pension was more than enough for my modest needs. I don't travel, I don't shop, I grow my own herbs in the backyard. Then I overheard something. I had come to their house unexpectedly, just to drop off some pickles I'd made. The front door was slightly open. Inside, Khalid was laughing. "She doesn't even check the statements," he said. "It's basically extra income." My breath caught in my throat. Samina's voice followed, softer but not protesting. "Just don't overdo it, she might notice." I stood there frozen, the jar of pickles trembling in my hand. I didn't knock, I didn't confront them. I simply walked back to my car and drove home with a silence inside me that felt heavier than grief. That night, I pulled out my old bank folder. My hands shook as I searched for account details. The next morning, I went to the bank alone. The young man at the counter spoke gently when I explained I wanted my pension redirected to a new personal account. A card in my name only, no secondary access. "Of course, ma'am," he said, "it's your right." Your right. Such simple words, yet they felt revolutionary. By noon, it was done. By 6 in the evening, the doorbell rang. I knew before I opened it. Samina stood there, face flushed, eyes sharp, Khalid behind her, jaw tight. "What did you do?" she demanded before stepping inside. I moved aside silently. "You changed the pension account," Khalid said flatly. "The payment bounced." "Yes," I replied calmly, "I changed it." "Why would you do that?" Samina's voice rose. "We have bills scheduled, the car payment, the credit card." "Your car payment?" I asked quietly. She blinked. "We've been covering your expenses for years," Khalid snapped. "No," I said, meeting his eyes for the first time without fear. "You've been using my pension for yours." The room felt smaller, the ticking wall clock suddenly loud. Samina's face crumpled, not with guilt but anger. "After everything we've done for you." I almost laughed. Everything they'd done, or everything they'd taken. "I heard you," I said simply. Silent. Khalid's posture shifted slightly. "Heard what?" Samina asked, but her voice had lost its force. "At your house, the day I brought pickles." The color drained from her face. For a moment I saw something flicker, shame perhaps, but it disappeared quickly. "You misunderstood," Khalid said smoothly. "I didn't," I replied. My voice surprised even me. It was steady, not loud, not cruel, just firm. "I trusted you because you're my daughter," I continued, "not because I'm incapable." Samina's eyes filled with tears now, but they didn't move me the way they once would have. "We're struggling," she whispered. "You know how hard things are." "I know," I said gently, "but my pension is not your solution." Khalid exhaled sharply. "So what now? You're cutting us off." "I'm protecting myself." The words settled between us. For years, I had believed that love meant sacrifice, that being a good mother meant giving without question, but somewhere along the way, my giving had turned into quiet erasure. I will help when I choose to, I said, not because you've made it automatic. Samina sank into a chair, rubbing her temples. Khalid looked ready to argue further, but seemed to realize there was no space left to push. You've changed, he muttered. Yes, I agreed, I have. They left not long after. The door closed with more restraint than I expected. When the house grew quiet again, I didn't feel victorious. I felt clear. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the curtains just as it had the day before. I made tea, I watered my herbs, life looked the same. But it was. For the first time since my husband died, I felt in control of my own existence again, not dependent, not manipulated by guilt disguised as care. Later that afternoon, my phone buzzed. A message from Samina. I'm sorry, I didn't realize how far things had gone. I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I typed back. We can talk, but things will be different now. Because love without boundaries isn't love. It's surrender. And at 72 years old, I finally understood that protecting what I built, my home, my savings, my dignity, was not selfish. It was necessary. I changed where my pension went. And in doing so, I changed where my life was going too.